Well, I did an odd thing today. I actually did all my lists and then realized I didn't have an opening. Usually I start with my opening, I get home, I eat my lunch, and then worry about everything else. A little bit of a backwards scenario this time. But there isn't a ton to talk about in the opening, to be honest. What is there to talk about? Well, the horses, the babies, the 3-year-olds training and continuing to stay ready. As I said to somebody last week, I thought I answered the question of why we're training these 3-year-olds the way we're training them. And I think it's important now because you're starting to hear those whispers, right? Those whispers out of Ohio saying May 18th, May 20th, they think they're going to be going. And I hope they do, because shortly after that, I think you can drop a calendar of 14 to 21 days after Ohio. And if there's no outbreaks, issues, sickness is found in Ohio and the racing community after they start up, you can be sure Ontario will be right behind them. So, as I said many times in the videos you're about to watch, I still believe Ohio will be the first to open. I believe Pennsylvania and Illinois will be behind that. And I had a client from Illinois call and say, Anthony, Illinois is not going to open up. They just pushed back the stay-at-home order. I said, yes, but it's my understanding there's some loopholes in that stay-at-home order, and they may pertain to agriculture, they may pertain to racing. Remember, the casino, there isn't a casino at Hawthorne yet. So racing and then having that signal out there, you don't really need people in the stands. We don't have a ton of people that come to the races anymore anyway, so I don't know that you would need to have those people in the stands anyway. And when you talk about a place like Hawthorne, the barn area is everywhere. People could social distance pretty easy. So I think there could be a case made for Illinois racing similar to Ohio. Shortly after that, I think Pennsylvania, at the same time Pennsylvania will be going. As I said, I think 14 to 21 days after that, you'll see Ontario. Somewhere in there, you'll hopefully see New Jersey. And then New York has a problem twofold. One, the governor allowing them to race or not. And secondly, a lot of their money, their purse money, is tied to the casino money. And if the casinos aren't open, which it appears they're not going to be open for a while, then that could be a big problem for New York. So I feel terrible for the horsemen out there. The pressure and the stress and frustration must be even worse than ours. I mean, mine is mounting. I said to you guys in an email on Friday, we were talking about sending out bills, and Wendy said, geez, people complained last month when he sent the bills out early. Well, if it lands in the middle of the week at the end of the month, it's a problem for me, right? So we have a few checks coming in, and still have clients that are going to send checks in. They may be here Monday, they may not. But I want to make sure that our clients our clients are paid, but also our employees are paid. And to do that, there has to be revenue flowing in. And it's the end of the month. It's a tough time. And listen, if anybody's out there and doesn't plan on paying their invoices till midway through the month, I don't want anybody robbing any banks or mugging people to pay the stable.ca. But at the same time, if you're having issues, send me a note. If you don't mind saying, hey, I'll get this out to you the middle of the month or the end of the month or today, or I can't right now. I would rather have a fair gauge of what people can and cannot do. But nevertheless, regardless if I sent the bills out Thursday, Wednesday, or today or tomorrow, which will be yesterday for you, it's good for me to get them out there. One, we have our last stake payment of the year. My God, this time, we might be at home, but it's flying by. We have our last stake payments of the year, May 15th. We have our April payments done. This is May. It's all done. So it's important for me to get the bills out quickly so people can look at them. Every month, we have made changes to a few horses, and this may be another month we do the same thing. But I want to make sure everybody gets a look at what's going on with their horses, and has any questions. If they have any questions, ask them. Please ask them. So we have the whispers of opening up. We have the invoicing going out yesterday, I suppose, if you're watching this on Monday. And the importance of doing that for the stable. Our horses continue to train and stay tight because of the whispers we're hearing. I suspect if a place, so for instance, if Illinois is going to open up quicker, a month or 2 or 3 weeks earlier than Ontario, it might be worth us sending a load of horses out to Angie and Rob to race in Illinois. It makes total sense. We want to get a head start on everybody else also. And that is why we continue to train them the way we're training them, because we don't know. There might be people say, maybe we don't get back to Ontario till June 15th, and somebody says, well, there you go. See, you should have turned them out. We're not going to play the I told you so game. we're doing the best we can to make sure that everybody is ready to go. Our 2-year-olds are training down good. They look great on Wednesday. Look good again today. Just really, really impressed with a lot of them. As I said, it's business as usual here, right? We're trying to get everybody, keep everybody healthy, keep everybody happy, keep everybody trained, not tire anybody out. That's the toughest part, is keeping them all interested in racing without racing. It's hard to do. And again, looking forward, I mean, when you look at what's going on in the U.S. and, this is the stuff that bothers me every night. Say they do say, okay, May 18th, we're going to race, we're going to start racing, stake races start on the 21st. I'm going to Ohio for the 21st. So that means I know they just started selling 5 or 15-minute kits or whatever in the U.S., and they're talking about it in Canada. I can't go to Ohio, and I've said this before, I can't go to Ohio and just walk back into 65 Moffett Lane as if nothing happened. I'm going to have to get tested. I don't want to jeopardize the safety of any of our employees, certainly not my family or any of my friends. So there's going to be a lot of testing for me, I suppose, this coming summer. And step 1 is to get back racing. Step 2 is to figure out how I'm going to manage that and then manage everything else. I think our Ontario horses look good, and I think we have the right people in place to take care of them. Kevin, Harry, and Mario did a great job last year, and I think they're going to have an opportunity to do an even better job this year by the looks of the horses that are training down that are sired in Ontario. Jason's raring to go to get to Ohio. Globetrotting's not quite ready yet. She's getting there. She's almost there. Not quite there yet. So we're going to really batten down on her over the next 2 or 3 weeks to make sure when they say, yeah, we're racing, we are ready to go. Speed-wise, that won't be a problem, but her doing it right and getting her confidence elevated, that will take a couple of weeks. So we'll need the next 2 weeks to do that for sure. And then obviously, it was funny, I had a horseman message me the other day asking if we needed a trainer in the Pennsylvania area. We do. So obviously we have Tim. The problem with Tim is in the Meadows. I don't really need Tim to go to Philadelphia, and I don't need Tim to go to the Poconos when they start racing. So we can do one of 2 things. Well, we'll probably do one thing. Tim will have all of our horses racing in the Meadows at the Meadows, and then any horses that are going to be racing in the Poconos and then in Philadelphia and back to the Meadows, we'll either send them to, I'd say, John, Irv, or Andrew, but this other horseman might play a role also. So we have options there. When it comes to New York, same type of thing. We'll see how the horses are, but it looks like we got some that are going to be ready to go. Batavia, Buffalo, Vernon, that area. I think that the lady we used last year did a good job with them. It's really just maintenance. You really need a good caretaker, right? Maintain the horses, bring them to the track. When it comes to Saratoga, Mark Treffy, I'd talked to him and Michelle. They have a trainer out there, a young gentleman that does pretty good. We'll maybe do some work with him in the Saratoga area. And then, as far as Yonkers and Monticello, that type area, I don't know yet. We'll see. But I want to see what the horses are good enough first. It certainly looks like Lincoln Hanover is, but I don't want Lincoln Hanover racing at Monticello and Buffalo anyway. There's more than enough racing in Tioga and Vernon. And I guess Saratoga's a decent half also in Yonkers. But we'll see. I want to make sure that we have the horses in the right position to do the right things. And I want to make sure they're good enough. So we're training them to see who's the best of the best amongst us. And then we're going to put them up against the best of the best amongst everybody else. And do it in the best way we can. So whether that's Tammy in the Buffalo, Batavia, Vernon area, or whether that's Mark and Michelle's trainer in the Saratoga area, or somewhere up around Yonkers, whether we go to Andrew or Carmen or whoever, then so be it. But rather than looking for a trainer that can travel with the horse, maybe we'll look for a trainer that can accept the horse into their area. So that's what's going through my head all the time, training all the horses, trying to keep them proper, trying to keep them sound, trying to keep them comfortable, keep their confidence up, keep their endurance up, stamina up, and then make sure our staking is done properly for the last phase of it this year, and then make sure that we get a look at the new calendar and where we're sending our horses, and then, oh, by the way, make sure you're safe and you're healthy when you're on the road with the horses. I still am going to go to Ohio and Pennsylvania. What that looks like for me for the rest of the summer, we'll see. I do know that the paddock judge in Mohawk is pretty strict. He runs a pretty tight ship, Dave Hanna. So you can be sure if Anthony wanders over to Ohio and Pennsylvania with no vaccine for COVID-19, I'm certain that the Ontario Racing Commission, the Alcohol Gaming Commission of Ontario, will want to see some sort of a blood test or a saliva test or whatever test you have to take, sobriety test, I don't know, before they let me back at Mohawk. And I think I'd want to anyway. The last thing I want to do is jeopardize anybody else. So scary times, they'll continue until there's a vaccine, and there isn't one for quite a while. So please, everybody, I know these are the things I'm talking about, but stay safe and stay healthy, and for the love of God, stay indoors if you can, I guess. Keep your family safe, and we'll all get through this. For right now, everything looks pretty good. Few little hiccups this week, but nothing serious. A couple of horses that have fallen behind, we're helping pick them back up and get them moving forward. Any injuries, we're going to give them the proper time and clean them up, and keep the stable.ca moving forward. So thank you very much for all your kind words and well wishes. I'll continue to send you. There's some stuff we talked about on our emails this week that I might not want to put on the videos because some of the people that work in our barn watch these videos. So I'll continue to send those out to you over the next week or two. Anyway, I hope you guys had a great week. I did. The drone was pretty good, a little windy, but I wish we had the drone today. We'll be probably back next Saturday with the drone. That's the plan. I'll talk to Curtis and we'll cement that in for you. But for now, I'm all done. I ended with the opening video. How'd they do that for? Ended with the opening video. I am gonna clean everything up here, and then I'm going to go to the car wash, and nothing else. Take care, stay safe, stay healthy. Talk to you guys soon.